actually like to do a Scottish accent. I've never actually been to Scotland before, but I plan on going there when the restrictions ease up.
That's really good. Oh my God.
I guess it started off in one place, and then gradually it kind of like branches out your tastes or whatever. So when I was 14, 15, I was really into bluegrass. So first it was actually like Alison Krauss and like the music from Her Brother Were Out Thou. I just sort of wanted to be a hillbilly.
People, as you've seen there, so many wonderful artists as well. And one of those artists is Leila Jane, which you actually saw there. And I'm really delighted to be joined by Leila Jane today. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. I don't know what's going on with me. Who is an amazing singer-songwriter, guys. She started performing at the age of 15, listening to the full recordings of 1930s blues player Robert Johnson. She traveled around the States and gained a lot of inspiration for the style of music that she plays. And she's an absolutely amazing musician. We've worked with her before. She studied in BIM, and she's done some fantastic performances over a variety of big stages, such as Glastonbury, Electric Picnic, and Brooklyn Americana Fest. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't talk today. So please welcome Leila Jane. Come on in. Welcome. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we made it. Here. How are you keeping? Take your microphone. How are you doing?
Good.
So nice to see you. We had you perform, what was it, about 2 weeks ago? It was quite quick turnover, isn't it? We had you do a set here for us, which I'm really looking forward to checking out. And it was interesting to reread over some of your achievements and how much you've done over the years, Leila. It's absolutely crazy. We met, right? Do you remember meeting me in the Crystal Skull sessions, 2015, 5 years ago?
Yeah, but I mostly remember you from the Transmission Festival because I couldn't really remember you from...
Because when I met you at Crystal Skulls, you were with a full band, right?
Yeah, I would have been. That was like my early days at BIM. So I had like band members and we did a lot.
And how is it now? How long are you playing solo without the band members?
I'd say, well, I kind of like finished college in 2019, and that's when I went solo. I'd say the whole 4 years of college, I always had a band that I had behind me. And then after college, I felt like I'm going forward on my own. Really?
And was it an instant sort of realization? It's like, or did you have to put in a lot of thought into it? Like how did that kind of...
It kind of just went that way. I felt like what I wanted to do with bands and stuff had run its course at that point, and maybe I needed space to like actually keep developing, I feel. So now I'm focusing on the recording side and getting, working more with producers and getting the sound, so getting the perfect recording, and then later on I'll be able to get a band that I can be like, okay, there's the recording, play that.
And how about then the live stuff? Would you see kind of having a fixed band for the recording, or you just have session musicians? How do you sort of envision that? I know live performance seems so far away, but like what do you think?
Yeah, like so many people. As I'm recording, like I even had, I was working with a producer, Sam Stevenson, yesterday, and we did a remote recording session. That was really fun. But like people keep saying, oh yeah, when you do this live, that'll be so good. And then I'm thinking, okay, yeah, when?
It's like, oh yeah, that thing.
So I haven't thought about it yet, but like, it's like, obviously I'll have to get in band members to play. But at the moment I'm just working a lot of the producers I'm working with can play a lot, so we just have to get in like a drummer, and then I can direct the music, what they play.
And the producer would they organise the kind of instrumentation part for you then in that case, or do you have to seek sort of the musicians? And
well, for a good few tracks, I mean, at the moment I'm talking in the context, I'm trying to aim to make an album at the moment. So that's what I've been working on, and I've done a couple of tracks already with this is
exclusive.
Exclusive information.
I love it. I knew you were going to say that. I had a feeling. I was like, is Leila about to give us something exclusive? Okay, brilliant. Let's do it. Let's have at it.
Yeah, so I'll spill the beans. So in December, I went to Limerick to work on a couple of tracks with Michael Keating from the Bleeding Heart Pigeons. He has a studio at his parents' farm, and it's just a little shed. And so me, him, and his drummer worked for a couple of days on a couple of tracks.
Brilliant.
And so basically what I did for that was I had made my demo where I had arranged it all myself. So it was almost like having a blueprint that I gave to him, and then we just re-recorded it all.
Brilliant. Wow.
So it does feel very empowering as the artist to be like, it's totally my vision and I'm just taking it to get recorded. And at the moment, that seems really cool.
Amazing, amazing. So do you have a date set sort of for the album? Are we...
No date for the album.
No, we're not getting that exclusive yet.
But,
that's too much to ask, maybe, is it?
But I do have a single release coming up.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And that's going to sort of maybe pave the way for the later recordings, because I need time to work on those. But the recording I'm going to release was recorded, it was like the last recording I did at BIM. So it was done at BIM Studios. And I really liked the recording, and it was done with the last band I had at BIM as well.
Excellent.
And I've got a music video for it. And the release date of that is the 11th of June.
11th of June. Have you announced anything yet on social media?
No.
Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. That's fantastic. And what's the name? Do we have the name for the song?
Look Away From Our Creation.
Look Away From Our Creation. Fantastic.
So it's a new recording of the song. The song is on an old EP that I released.
Okay.
But this recording, I feel, embodies the song better, and it's going to be with a music video as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Have you already kind of imagined the music video? Has it been begun? That process?
Today actually I actually saw the first draft of the music video.
Brilliant. Yeah. How do you feel about it? Do you like where it's going?
Yeah.
In that direction?
It's a bit gruesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like you at all. That's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a marketing leading point, isn't it? Like, I mean, I'm definitely interested now to see that. If you say gruesome, Leila Jane says the video's a bit gruesome. You're like, wait a minute, that's not Leila Jane. That's not the Leila Jane I know, you know? But that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, great to, because you haven't, like, checking your Spotify, the last release I think you had under your banner is like 2019, right? So it's been it seems like a few years now, although last year didn't really count, right? You probably would have released something last year had the pandemic not, the Panasonic not happened, right? We won't say the other word. But it's great. It must be nice to sort of have something now to look forward to, right? As in you have something locked in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been it's frustrating when you have so many ideas and you don't feel like anything is happening, but now gradually I'm seeing, I'm making the steps towards being able to do stuff.
Fantastic.
And I want to build up the content as well, so that, I'll have stuff.
So you're still on the map as well for people, because you have a lot of people obviously that follow you and love you and love your music, right? So it's like, how do you consistently keep releasing stuff? And of course you're going to be releasing this album first, single by single, correct? It's kind of the standard procedure these days, isn't it? And then you'll have your sort of entirety kind of collection there. It's great you can do that, isn't it? The way you can still consistently release stuff over time, and then you sort of release the album almost as well as a separate thing. Is that kind of how you're envisioning it? Yeah,
that's how I envision it. But I find with the music industry, like, you have a plan, but then it's like everything falls into place. It's like it has its own plan that you just have to let happen, and you're not aware, but you have to have a plan. So the most obvious thing would be to just release single by single and then at the end have an album.
Have your final kind of product as well then as a whole, which is great.
Yeah.
And so you played some really interesting stages. Glastonbury, Electric Picnic. I mean, those are pretty awesome stages. Do you have anything like that was sort of stood out for you in the past, like over the years? Because you've been playing quite a lot, like which is.
Yeah. Well, it was nice. The last time I played Electric Picnic, I got to play one of the bigger stages. Like I played the Salty Dog stage, which was always a great stage, and then I got to play the Cosby stage, on the final time. And because I played the Cosby stage, it was one of the biggest stages. I got to go backstage to like the main area, which I hadn't been in before, and I got into the lunch place, and then Nile Rodgers just comes over and is like, "Oh, is this seat free?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And what did you have a little chat, or were you trying to?
Yeah, he was like, he was kind of curious. He was like, "Oh, so do you work here?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm a musician."
How dare he say that? Do you work here? The audacity! My God, he should have known straight away who Leila Jane was.
But I told him I was a musician and my name's Leila Jane. So.
Here's my business card.
I don't have any business cards.
No, but they're quite outdated now. I got like 1,000 of them, and they were printed too dark, and I can't use them now. So I'm going to make a collage out of them. But that's amazing. Backstage, Electric Picnic, meeting Nile Rodgers. I mean, that seems like a really pinnacle moment in music. It's just amazing. Wow. I'm sure you miss gigging, obviously. You travelled around the States as well a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that stint.
Yeah. So when I was 20, I just decided it was kind of, I had this time in between college. I'd started a degree and then dropped out, and then I was planning to go to BIM, but I had this time period between that where I just decided to save up my busking money and then go to America for 3 months. And I did some work away on a horse farm and stuff, but mainly I wanted to sort of check out the music scene in New York, and I volunteered in music festival and saw a lot of cool music, and then got to play in New York. And then I went back a couple of years later, and then a year later again. And so that's how I ended up being able to play at the Jalopy Theatre and the Brooklyn Americana Music Festival. It's a great way of networking. And that first trip to America, it just, like, I was on my own, but everything just seemed to work out. Even when I had plans that I was like, oh, what do I do now? I haven't planned this bit. It just fell into place. So I felt like someone was
guiding you.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of from, I read that you're from kind of half London, half sort of from Donegal. Is that correct? You'd say that. So and you play obviously kind of Americana folk is kind of the genre. Is that kind of correct to say? So somebody coming from Ireland over to the States to kind of play their style of music, like how did they sort of react to you over there?
Yeah, it's weird. Like obviously, I just played at an open mic at the Jalopy Theatre, and then the guy there was like, "Oh, you should play the gig we have on a Wednesday." So it was definitely felt very welcomed, and like they wanted to help me and like have me play there. So that was great. But I also felt like I kind of blended in quite well. Like there's so many great musicians there. But at least you're sort of a bit unique, that you can kind of stand out as yourself a bit.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of amazing musicians there, and in the same genre. So you kind of, whereas here, maybe people would think, oh, that's so different. It's really unique. Whereas in America, I kind of felt like my style fit in more.
Yeah. It's interesting because your style is so unique. It's you draw a lot of people in that way. I think so in Ireland, because it's not very common, right? The way you sing is it's just amazing, and it's not heard too often in the Irish music scene. So it's a great thing that you've sort of naturally and organically honed into that style. Was that obviously, you know, starting at 15, you got inspired by Robert Johnson's music, right? So you listened to the whole catalogue and you were just inspired. What else sort of inspired you along the way musically? Did you gain any sort of pulls from any particular artist or people? They don't have to be linked with music, I guess.
Yeah, because I guess it started off in one place and then gradually it kind of like branches out your taste or whatever. So when I was 14, 15, I was really into bluegrass. So first it was actually like Alison Krauss and like the music from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I just sort of wanted to be a hillbilly. And
I love that music. That's really fun music.
Like everyone, if you hear that music, it makes you happy. So whatever. And then from that, I got into the blues. I heard Robert Johnson and just got his full recordings. And then after that, maybe, I don't know, like maybe jazz and soul. You know, hearing music in film, like I'm really into films as well. So like David Lynch films, and then hearing kind of music in that. And
what's your favorite David Lynch? Do you have a favorite kind of?
Yeah, I think, well, like I feel Blue Velvet is like, I'd say, I feel like that's his masterpiece. But I do appreciate all his films, but I think that one really, I don't know,
it stands out for you.
One of those, yeah.
Would you write for a film? Would you ever be interested in sort of, I know Greg mentioned sort of, he got into, you know, writing specifically for a film or writing specifically for somebody, isn't it? Would you ever get into that kind of realm of things?
Yeah, like if the opportunity came up, I would see it as a welcome challenge. Yeah, if I was feeling it, I'd say I could do that.
If it was David Lynch?
Yeah.
I
couldn't say no to David Lynch.
Amazing. Well, he's an absolute genius, right? And I love watching his videos as well on sort of just speaking about film. And for some reason, he's been coming up in my YouTube sort of suggested watch list. And I've been sort of trying to understand, I guess, a bit of his philosophy as well in general, and how he ties it in with film. It's a fascinating man, you know what I mean? That very much is set on sort of what he believes in, you know what I mean? Which is interesting too. But interesting, I didn't know that about you. And then only a couple of days ago, I was watching his. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, interesting. So you're also very good at doing accents. I've seen your Instagram. You know, you've been doing stuff like, I think it was the Birmingham accent and different types of accents, right?
Yeah.
So I think today we're going to do, since we put Greg on the spot with the quiz, I mean, it's only fair to kind of put you on the spot as well. And don't worry, I'm going to be...
I hope you are.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Will I do it as well?
Yeah, you better. If I have to do it, then you...
Goodness. Okay, guys, so you guys at home can participate as well. If you want to throw in some suggested accents for either myself or Leila to do, please do throw them in. And Keto, you're going to launch us into the next segment. And take us into this next segment. Let's do it, Keto. Like, there you go. Lovely. Isn't it? We got our own little like an intro music to this thing and everything. It's fantastic. Okay, so Keto, you are going to throw us a couple of accents there, and I think we're going to take turns, right? As in, like, Leila will get some different accents than me, just so Leila doesn't copy my amazing accent, because it's easy. When you hear an accent, it's actually easier to copy it, isn't it? Than just tell us a quick one. Actually, how did you sort of get into doing accents and stuff like that before we delve into it?
Days. I'm not a professional.
Great. So no competition for me then. Yeah, great.
But I've always liked hearing different accents. Obviously, being born in London and then like on summer holidays being taken to Donegal, like I was obviously going to notice the change in the accent. Yeah. From like a young age. So, and then moving to Donegal and then going to Dublin and I just, I love hearing accents. So whenever, you know, I hear it enough, it kind of sinks in.
Brilliant.
So
Okay, so we're going to test that out now. Keto, are you there? Are we going to put into a split screen here situation? Or?
I'm there for you now. I'm down on the.
You're there for us now. Oh, there he is at the bottom there at the floor.
Yeah, I had to move myself around a bit. You know?
look like you're actually under the desk. You look like you're actually, they gave you like a door under the desk. It's very fitting.
What's under there?
You don't want to know what's under there. Okay, brilliant, Keto. So, sure, yeah, you can give me the first accent, I guess. I'll initiate it. So, unless you want to, do you want to start?
no.
Okay, I had a feeling you did. All right, so all right, here we go. This is going to be so embarrassing, guys. But I do it for you guys. Let's do it. Rebecca got our Patreon. Rebecca, fair play to you. Well done. Nice one for subscribing to our Patreon. You're in for some great treats. Nice one, Rebecca. Really appreciate it, guys. The link is in the description, by the way, if anybody's interested. So, okay, so lay it at me. What accent am I supposed to do?
We didn't prepare anything for this, but I would say I'd like to see you do a German accent.
German? Oh my God.
Obviously speaking in English.
I was born in Berlin, so but I was only 6 months old when we left. So German accent. Das ist gut, ja. Hey, how are you doing? I am Cossack, yeah? This is what it's all about. You know, you go in here and you take this and you go and you have the hala haba haira. But that was a bit off the German, but what you think of that? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for any Germans, guys. I'm so sorry.
Well, I think
Get
that
to
was
the
very
chopper.
Arnie. So
I'm a cop, you idiot.
That's very Arnie, and Arnie is Austrian, so I have to give you.
Oh, what? Keto's been very hard with the points today. All right, okay, Leila, it's your turn.
I think I'll go with.
Keto, so Leila can't hear you, but I'll tell Leila then. That's okay. No, I'll tell Leila. Tell us which one.
Scottish.
Scottish.
Okay. Actually like to do a Scottish accent. I've never actually been to Scotland before, but I plan on going there when the restrictions ease up.
That's really good. Oh my God. Guys, Keto, you're giving her easy accents here now. Come on. That's not fair. This was preordained.
This is pretty hard, man.
I mean, okay, fair enough. Okay. We'll give it. That was very good. You've never been to Scotland?
I've driven through it. I've never actually visited somewhere in Scotland. Maybe as a child, but yeah.
Okay, give me an easy one, Keto. Come on, German. Like that was ridiculously hard.
Is this for you now?
Yeah, it's for me now, isn't it? Are we going back? Let us know in the comments as well. We got someone commenting as well for Leila. I don't know, but she is a pro, Jamie. She is a pro. You're right.
See, it's hard to think of what I could like do that's not too hard, you know, and then doesn't make you look so bad.
Yeah, I think I even already did too much with that German one, right?
Well, look, why don't we try a French accent?
France. I am from France. I'm French. My name is David. This is my French accent. How do you think it is? Is it up to your standards? Let us get the baguette and have some fun, huh? You know what I mean?
You went from like French back to like Eastern European.
Here. I think that was pretty good. What do you think of that one?
I thought it was very good.
Leila should be voting them.
Well, I have to give you buzzers, you know.
Leila should be. Yeah. You can't give me a buzzer every time. It just gets boring. You have to give me some right. Here. Keto. All right. Last one. Let's do a last one for Leila, and then we'll have Leila's performances.
I'd like to try and see, because I was gonna go with something further away, but it's actually like they're kind of standard accents, so like, you know, pretty popular across the board in how, like, even being used in acting and all, but like really specific ones like the Scottish is hard. So I'd say, like, what if she could do like Northern Ireland? Northern Ireland, Leila.
Okay, well, it might sound a bit Donegal, but
it's gonna be better than whatever I've been bleeding doing here.
So I like to travel to Donegal. This is gonna sound so Donegal. Donegal.
It can't be Donegal because you're
it's
in Donegal.
The north. Donegal's still in the north.
No, Antrim. I want specifically Antrim. This is not fair. This is not fair.
I don't know what the Antrim accent sounds like.
Okay. How about Belfast?
Belfast. I have to think of Jamie Dornan if I'm doing a Belfast accent. It's just so, it's like a slight, it's slightly off. It's like not Donegal, but it's northern. It's more like there's more of a rhythm to it. I think more of a I really need to practice this one, but
That's
I
great.
don't know.
That's brilliant stuff. Fantastic. There you go. There's your recognition. Leila Jane, everybody, give her some love in the chat for participating in our accents game.
Can't you? Hey, you.
Keito, don't even start with your accents here now. Jesus. I thought mine
The
were
words
bleeding
are
bad.
so mashed together, it won't trigger the algorithms, you know?
Yeah, well, that's it now,
Hopefully.
you know. Like, nobody get any ideas and start taking out little pieces of my bleeding accents and start calling me a racist for making fun of a German accent or a French. That would be very nice of you if you did. But like, Leila, thanks so much for participating in a bit of crack with us. Tell us, do you want to mention any last little bits of info to people so they can sort of see what's coming up or whatever? I know you gave us a couple of exclusives there if you wanted to kind of mention where people can find you and stuff like that.
Yeah. So as you know, the single and the music video is going to come out on the 11th of June. But I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, everything. Just look up Leila Jane Music on Instagram and Leila Jane, LeilaJane. And I'm in loads of places online. Loads
of places online.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. And you can find obviously the link to her Facebook, which then kind of links into everything else in the description of the video, guys. Leila Jane, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for hanging around and for coming back, I suppose, after the performance. We didn't scare you away. But you're going to see the next two songs by Leila Jane, which we recorded a couple of weeks back. Her upcoming one, Away From Our Creation and Feel the Dreams. Looking forward to this.